Thanks so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I assume if you joined us tonight, you either have a new puppy in your home or you're thinking about getting a new puppy. And so it's really great that you tuned in because there's a lot of stuff you need to know to make sure you do everything right when you have a new puppy. But the first thing I want to do is thank Assisi Animal Health, not only for inviting me to speak to you, but also for providing these webinars for the pet parents out there, because really we all need education about animal behavior. Now, this is such a great company and they really care about animal health. And as a behavior consultant, their Calmer Canine is what excites me the most. It's a device that helps dogs that have separation anxiety or even other anxieties. So it's something that myself and other behavior people like me are really super excited about. So such a wonderful company. So thanks again for having me and thanks for joining us. So what I'm going to talk about tonight are the three most important puppy things that you need to know. So the first one is the importance of socializing your puppy and what that really means. The second thing is how to house train your puppy. And of course, that means teaching them to eliminate outside instead of inside. And the last thing is to teach them what we call bite inhibition. And bite inhibition is teaching them not to put their teeth on human skin. So these are the things I'm going to go over tonight. So again, thanks for joining me. I hope you learn a lot. So I'm going to start by talking about that process of socialization. I'm sure you've heard if you got a puppy, whether, regardless of where you got it from, somebody told you got to socialize your puppy. And socialization is a really super important process because all animals have a time in their infancy when their brain is open to learning about what to expect in their world. We call this the period of socialization. And the critical period for socialization in dogs is from 3 to 12 weeks of age. Now, we usually get our puppies around 8 weeks of age. That means that there's been some socialization already happening, but that only gives you about 4 weeks to really socialize your puppy during this critical period. Of course, you want to continue to socialize your puppy all through that first year, but these critical 4 weeks are really super important. So during this time, puppies have to be exposed to many different things, as many things as you can think possible, things that that your dog is most likely going to encounter in their life. And so we start with people. Your puppy needs to meet and interact with lots of different kinds of people. And so that means different genders, men and women. It means different ages. We want young people and elderly people, people of different races, men with beards, men that wear hats. Those kind of things are really important because if your puppy only knows your family, then anybody that doesn't look like your family could be scary to your puppy if they weren't exposed to these people in puppyhood. We also want to think about the kid thing, right? We really want to expose the puppy to all different age children. If you have children in your house, that's great. But if you have an 8-year-old child in your house, your puppy will be socialized to an 8-year-old child, but not an infant, not a toddler, not a teenager. So basically, we want to expose the puppy to as many different age groups as we can when it comes to children. Now, you don't have to have them around the kids, for any great length of time, but they really should at least encounter some kids from time to time. So if you have friends or family members that have different age children, you want to get that puppy around those kids. We also want to think about the stuff we wear, because we wear some funny looking stuff, right? We wear sunglasses that, cover our eyes. We wear hats. We wear big old parkas in the winter, depending on where you live, rain jackets. We carry these big giant umbrellas. All this stuff is important to try to expose your puppy to now because they look weird. So if the puppy never sees this stuff, and then when they're an adolescent, they start experiencing, like if you have a summer puppy, they never see winter garb. And so if you have, if you live in an area where there's not a lot of rain, they might not experience the umbrellas and the raincoats and things like that. So when I used to teach puppy classes, I had a different theme every week. So we had bad weather week, where people would come in their raincoats and carry umbrellas. We'd have hat week and sunglass week and winter clothes week, just so the puppy got some exposure to people with weird stuff on them. You also want to expose your puppy to people that are on wheels, basically, because that's not real normal either. So people in wheelchairs, baby strollers, bikes, skateboards, rollerbladers, you know, people moving fast on wheels can be really startling to dogs if they weren't exposed to these things. So this is a good time to like head down to the playground where kids are playing and where you see rollerbladers and things like that. So what I like to do is make sure that you carry what I call a stranger goodie bag. So the stranger goodie bag is a goodie bag that you allow strangers to provide to your puppy. You don't want people giving your puppy treats that you don't know what they're giving your puppy. So if you have the treats and someone says, "Oh my gosh, can I go see your puppy? I mean, he's so cute." Sure, can you give him one of these treats? And that way your puppy's having a really good experience with that stranger because he gets a treat, right? Likewise, you want to have treats with you when you're exposing the puppy to, the different kinds of people and the children and the bike riders and such, because you want to associate those things with something really good. I also like you to have a puppy party. A puppy party is really fun. Invite your friends and relatives to your house and have a party so that your puppy gets to meet a variety of different people. They're right there at your house. You also want to expose your puppy during this time to all different kinds of experiences, riding in the car, visiting other people's homes, walking around the neighborhood, somebody near them when they're eating, playing trade games when they have a toy, just show them a treat and play trade so they learn to trade items, giving them eye contact. So in dog language, eye contact can be a threat or a challenge. And we stare at dogs all the time. We look them right in the eye because that's a human thing. We want to desensitize the dog, socialize the puppy to human eye contact. Also, really super important is to teach the puppy to be left alone. So a lot of times people get puppies when they have a stretch of time when they can really do good house training and things like that, and they never leave the puppy alone. Right from the first day, the puppy has to learn that sometimes you're alone, okay, for little teeny bits of time, and slowly increase that bits of time because they need to learn that. It's really important. You don't want a dog who grows up and has separation anxiety. Even though we have the calmer canine to help you, you really don't want to have a dog with separation anxiety. So you want to socialize your puppy to that now. Also really super important, going to the veterinarian should not just be about shots. If you want your puppy to have good veterinary care throughout its life, you want them to be okay with the veterinary office. And so taking your puppy there in between shot visits just for some treats and to be played with by the people there is a really good idea. In fact, what's even better is taking your puppy there before they even have their shot appointment. Just one time go in, give them a couple treats, have everybody say hi and go home. And then the next visit will be that vaccine visit because we want to have a positive experience at the veterinary office. Also, carry treats with you when you go for that shot visit because while your puppy's getting his shots, you want to give that puppy little bits of treats. You also want to handle your puppy. All right, now's the time to socialize your puppy to being handled all over. There's a lot of adult dogs that are really super sensitive about being handled in certain ways. And so you want to pick up your puppy. You want to touch all your puppy's body parts. You want to towel them off like they got wet outside. You want to hug your puppy. Now, dogs typically do not like to be hugged. People don't like to hear this, but hugging is not affection to a dog. It is restraint. But we hug our dogs all the time. So we want to socialize the puppy to being hugged now when they're puppies. We want to brush them. We want to look in their ears. We want to clip their nails. All the things that you think might have to happen when this dog is an adult, you should be doing it now when it's a puppy. And you want to be gentle and you want to pair these things with really yummy treats. So you pick the puppy up and give it a treat. You touch his foot and give him a treat. You touch his ear and give him a treat. You give him a hug and give him a treat. And that's basically associating the handling with something good and yummy. And that works really well. Also, just socializing your puppy to different kinds of sounds can be really great. So they actually make CDs of different sounds for sound sensitive dogs. But they have one just for puppies where you can, there's all kinds of sounds. There's thunderstorms and fireworks and gunshots and car backfires and sounds like that that can startle puppies, but startle adult dogs too. The idea you put the CD-ROM on, and while it's playing, you're playing with your puppy or you're giving your puppy little treats. So they start hearing those things and associating with good things. And so if you don't live in a thunder-prone area right now, you want to kind of use this kind of CD to get your dog used to thunderstorms in case you eventually move to a thunder-prone area. Another thing is the scary monster that lives in the closet. So that's what I call the vacuum cleaner, right? The number one thing that dogs are afraid of is the vacuum cleaner. And it's because it's a big monster that lives in the closet and it comes out once a week or so and it rumbles the floor and it sounds scary. And so you want to accustom your puppy to the vacuum cleaner now. I like to have people just leave it out, cover it with treats. And so the puppy learns, well, that thing isn't so scary. And then you can have somebody turn it on in the other room while you're giving your puppy treats in a different room. And so they just get used to the sound of the vacuum cleaner. You also want to get your puppy around other puppies. So looking for a good socialization class is really important. Now, what's important is that it's a well-run, well-supervised puppy class, because it shouldn't be a free-for-all where, there can be a bully puppy in there bullying your puppy or your puppy being the bully. We want a nice, well-supervised puppy class because they learn a lot from each other. So and make sure the class isn't just like playtime for an hour, because puppies can learn and they should be trained right at 8 weeks. You can train a puppy to do all kinds of things, sit and down and all kinds of good things. And so start now because their brain is ready to learn. It's also really important to get your puppy around friendly adult dogs. So if you don't have a friendly adult dog in your home, take your puppy to a home or bring a friendly adult dog to your home, your friend or family member that you know the dog, and so that your puppy can hang around with that adult dog every once in a while, because it's the adult dog that's going to be able to teach the puppy manners and teach the puppy about how to communicate like a dog. We can't teach them that. They need to learn it from another dog. Mom starts that process, but we want to continue that learning. Be careful not to frighten the puppy during this critical time, because it's also the time of fear imprinting, meaning if something scary happens during this time, their brain is open to learning, yikes, that's scary. So if you bring the puppy around a little kid, let's say, and the little kid picks up the puppy and then drops it and then trips over it, that is going to imprint that little kids are not safe, they're scary. So we always want to make sure we understand that. So go very slowly and make it really super positive. Good socialization during this period will ensure a well-adjusted adult dog. And you heard in my bio that I've worked with animal shelters, and you may or may not know that animal shelters receive a lot of animals that were never socialized as puppies, and they have all kinds of different issues of, mostly fear issues. So socialize now, really critically important. Now let's talk about the thing you tuned in for, I bet you, house training. Now I call it house training rather than house breaking. That's an old term because we don't use it anymore because we don't want people to think they got to break their dog of a habit. It's just about teaching the puppy where it's appropriate to pee and poop and where it's not. Okay, so the key to house training is preventing elimination inside and rewarding successful elimination outside. That's the key. So how do we prevent inside elimination? We supervise. We supervise and we supervise some more. Your puppy should be watched all the time. And that's where crate training comes in. So crate training is a wonderful aid for house training because basically puppies, dogs don't soil where they sleep. So the idea of a crate is if you keep your puppy in a crate when you can't watch him or her, you go to work or nighttime, they're not going to soil where they sleep. Now, if you have a little teeny puppy in a big crate because it's, a golden retriever and it's going to get really big and you didn't want to buy multiple crates, they make little walls that you can block off as your puppy grows. That's really important because if they can sleep on one end and pee and poop on the other end, that's not going to work as well. Now, crate training is not cruel. You got to remember that dogs are den animals and their crate becomes their den. And most puppies actually love their crate and they go in there and sleep on their own, even with the door open, and it helps them feel secure. Right? So think of the crate as a playpen that you would put your infant or toddler in. You're not going to go take a shower and let your toddler just wander around the house. Well, it's kind of the same thing. So you want to train your puppy to love their crate. So great game to play. Just sit down next to the crate with some cookies and some toys and toss these things into the crate and the puppy runs in to get them. All right, lots and lots of praise going in, nothing for coming out. And then once that puppy's comfortable going in the crate to get good stuff, you can give that puppy a toy stuffed with goodies like a Kong or something like that. And then close the door and just sit there and let them finish eating the food out of your stuffed toy. And that's a great way to then increase the duration of time that your puppy stays in their crate. Usually doesn't take very long for puppies to learn to be okay in their crate. Never let the puppy out of the crate if they're crying, barking, whining, scratching at the side. Okay, because all that does is teach them that these behaviors get them out. You have to wait until the puppy is quiet. The exception is in the middle of the night when you hear your puppy, because most likely the puppy has to eliminate. Other methods that really help, in addition to the crate, not instead of an X pen area. So you put a little X pen, it's called an exercise pen, around the crate. So the puppy's not always in the crate, but is confined. That's the top left picture. The umbilical cord method, where you have that puppy with you all the time on leash so that you can keep your eyes on them. And then there's the tethering method. So you just tether the puppy to a table leg or something while you're cooking dinner. So the puppy can't run off into the living room, piddle, and come back in and you didn't even see him do it. You want to learn the cues that tell you your puppy needs to eliminate. A lot of times they'll show something. They'll start circling, they'll get restless, they'll start sniffing a spot. When you see those behaviors, you want to go outside, take the puppy and take them outside. So important times to take a puppy outside. You definitely want to take them out first thing in the morning when you take them out of that crate. Anytime they've had a nap, you take them out right after they wake up from their nap, after a meal or even a snack, during and after playtime. I say during because when a puppy's moving around, movement produces movement, right, is what we say. And so you want to, take the puppy out during playtime too, and then come back in and play some more, and then another time out after playtime. As soon as you let the puppy out of the crate, regardless of what time it is, and then about once an hour when you're home, just to make sure you give that puppy lots of opportunities to eliminate outside. So the hold it power a puppy has, they're not physically capable of holding their urine and feces for very long. The rule of thumb is 1 hour for every month of age plus one. So for an 8-week-old puppy, they can usually hold it for about 3 hours. So it's a 2-month-old puppy. And so 2 plus 1, 3 hours. So that's a good rule of thumb. Now, always go outside with your puppy so that you can give them immediate feedback that they've eliminated in the right place. If they run down 3 steps and piddle and then run back up and you say, good boy, you've just rewarded them for running back up, not for piddling down in the yard. You want to be right there so you can say, good boy, and give them a little treat when they pee or poop outside. So take the puppy outside, pace around in one area. Again, movement produces movement. And if elimination occurs, you praise and give the puppy a little treat. Make sure it's after she's done, not while she's going. And then play for a few minutes or go for a walk, because you don't want the puppy to learn, well, as soon as I pee or poop, they take me back in the house. So pee or poop first, then we have some fun outside. Now, if the puppy doesn't eliminate after 10 minutes or so, go back into the house, put the puppy in their crate, on a leash, or tethered, and watch her like a hawk. Wait about 10 or 15 minutes, and then go outside again, because your puppy should never have free time until you know that they're empty. but even then you want to supervise. Accidents are going to happen. Remember, they're just babies. Now, one thing is really super important. You cannot punish a puppy unless you catch them in the act. And if the puppy has an accident, remember it's probably your fault because you didn't take them out enough, or you weren't paying attention. But if you do catch them in the act, the best thing to do is just make a startling noise, like clap your hands or something, so they startle a little bit, and then rush them outside to finish. And don't forget to praise them when they pee or poop outside. So what you don't want to do is run screaming at your puppy, no, because what you're teaching that puppy is if I eliminate, she gets scary, and you don't want them to learn that association, right? So just that loud, scary noise out of the environment is a better way to startle the puppy and then take the puppy outside. So you want to clean those accidents. The best way to clean them is with an enzymatic cleaner. You want to neutralize the odor. Dogs have way better sense of smell than we do. If you don't neutralize the odor, the puppy's still going to smell it, and they're going to keep going back to the place where they had their accident yesterday. And so you want to clean, clean, clean. Okay, and the third thing we're going to talk about is bite inhibition. And so what you know, maybe or maybe not, is that an adult dog's jaw can break bone. That is a really strong jaw. So it's super important for young puppies to learn how to control the strength of their jaw, especially with their social partners. That's us, right? Those little needle sharp puppy teeth, they actually have a function. The reason puppies have those little needle sharp teeth is to facilitate learning bite inhibition. Okay, because with just a little bit of pressure from their little puppy jaw, they hurt. And that's because dogs' teeth are very sharp and big, and their jaw is very strong when they're adults, but they're a social species. So they have to learn when you're engaging with your social partners, don't hurt them. And that's what bite inhibition is all about. So Mother Nature and all her wisdom gave them these needle sharp teeth. Okay, so mom and littermates start teaching the puppy bite inhibition. So what mom does when the puppy bites on her, she reprimands. And she lets the puppy know, no, you don't bite your mama. Okay. And then the littermates start also continued that lesson, because when puppies are playing with each other, when one bites the other too hard, the one who got bitten yelps and playing. And so between these two, puppies learn to control the strength of their jaw. But the problem is we take puppies away from their canine social group before they're finished learning bite inhibition. Plus, we want them to learn bite inhibition to us because we are now their social partners. Okay, so we need to continue to teach them bite inhibition or teach them to have what we call a soft mouth. Okay, so what you should do is when the puppy bites too hard, you should act like a littermate. You don't want to act like mom and reprimand the puppy because you are not that puppy's mom. You don't want to scare the puppy, right? You want to build a bond with your puppy. Better to act like a littermate and just yelp, ouch, and then withdraw all attention for a few seconds. Okay, and then go back to playing. And you do that every single time that puppy bites you. Now, for some puppies that are really super mouthy, the tether method is really nice. You tether the puppy. What that means is you put their leash on and you hook them to something. And then you engage the puppy in play. But when the puppy bites your skin instead of the toy, you say, ouch, and you get up and walk away. And so the puppy's learning that biting you chases you away and ends the game. So you stay away for a few seconds and then come back, right? And when you come back, redirect that puppy's chewing and biting onto an appropriate chew toy. So your puppy has to learn biting you chases you away and ends the game, but biting the toy keeps you there playing, and that's more fun. So this process will teach the puppy not to put their teeth on human skin. And it also teaches the puppy which items are okay for them to chew on. Okay, so make sure you put that toy in that mix. Now, another annoying behavior that I didn't mention in the beginning, but I definitely want to mention is chewing. Puppies chew everything. Okay, you name it, they're going to chew it if they can get to it. Why? Well, number one, they're teething. Okay. And so sometimes their mouth hurts, but they also explore their world with their mouth. Human babies do too. They put everything in their mouth. But also chewing is just fun. It's a normal canine behavior. And also, puppies don't share our value system, remember? So they don't know the difference between the toy that you bought them at the dollar store and your $100 pair of shoes. So you always want to puppy proof your house. Having a puppy makes you a neater human because you got to pick up your stuff. So, how do we deal with chewing? Well, first of all, the best thing to do is provide lots of interesting and safe chew toys and rotate them every day so the puppy doesn't get bored with them. So you have, 20 toys and you give the puppy, 5 toys a day, and every day you switch out the toys so they always have something new and exciting to play with. And reward your puppy anytime you see him or her chewing on his own toys. And you always have to supervise your puppy because they don't know any better. So you want to supervise. And you want to train your puppy. Remember, you can train a 8-week-old puppy to do anything. You can train them to sit, to down, to stay, to come, tricks. Their brain is open to learning. You use positive reinforcement methods where you're using treats and not pain or intimidation, but treats, and you can train your puppy to do just about anything. So I encourage you to train, train, train at your house. Yes, classes are great, but you can also start working on it at home.